Terence Crawford has started his training camp for his fight against Israil Madrimov as he aims to conquer the 154 division now.
That's right, champ. Run it up, champ. That's right. On the toes, on the toes, on the toes. There you go, on the toes. On the toes. Yes, sir. I was trying to move
Traditionally competing in the 140 and 147-pound categories, Bud moving up a division has elicited excited whispers across the boxing community. Known for his skill set that combines speed, precision punching, and uncanny defensive brilliance, this move to the 154-pound class is seen as another opportunity for Crawford to demonstrate his versatility and prowess in the ring. On the subject of Crawford's transition, his trainer Brian McIntyre has voiced some concerns. He believes that Madrimov is one of the best at the 154 division and is definitely a tough fight for Crawford.
Like I said before, I feel like that Madrimov is one of the best of the division at 54. He brings a lot to the table as far as power, speed. You know, I know he only got 10 fights, but he got a shitload of amateur fights. He's dangerous. He's dangerous. They call him the Triple G of 54. So, you know, we got a lot of...
When asked what made Crawford move up a division and face one of the best at the 154, Bomac stated that Terence wants to be the best and take hard challenges like these. He stated, "It says a lot about his character. He wanted to be considered as one of the bests in and out of the ring, as a businessman and as a fighter. You must take challenges like this to prove to the world and to yourself that you are the best."
All the 54-pounders, we're putting y'all on notice. I'm telling you that right now. Come and collect all those belts. So either get you a fight and say you're busy or vacate it.
Bomac also said that Terence is coming for everybody at the 154 division and warns them to be ready for him. As Crawford prepares to break into the super welterweight category, he is reportedly training with an increased emphasis on strength, speed, power, and flexibility. McIntyre also noted the importance of building stamina, as moving up a division necessitates, suggesting longer rounds in sparring to help. He stated, "Definitely, it's a big challenge. Competing against one of the best 154-pounders for your first fight at the division is a massive challenge. We are preparing hard for this fight, especially focusing on stamina, as it is necessary for the bigger divisions. I've given suggestions for longer sparring rounds, and we'll see what else we could do." Hailing from Uzbekistan, Madrimov is known for his aggressive and relentless style. Having showcased remarkable stability standing toe-to-toe with his opponents, he is considered one of the most intimidating fighters currently in his division. Israil doesn't have a long professional boxing career, as he has only fought 10 professional fights, but his amateur resume is quite extensive with over 300 fights. When asked how he sees himself going into a fight with a star like Terence Crawford, Israil stated that he's ready for this.
Yeah, I have such a great experience in professional boxing, but I had a really stiff competition compared to how they debut, compared to who they fighting in their first 10 fights. But I have extensive amateur career, international, where I have 200 plus amateur fights. I fought all guys all around the world, and definitely ready for it.
Madrimov also said that Crawford is one of his favorite fighters, and getting into the ring with him would be an honor. He looks confident and says that he'll prepare well for this fight. Madrimov said, "Terence Crawford is one of my favorite boxers and one of the best boxers in the world. I am very excited to get this opportunity to make a statement, and I will, inshallah." Crawford believes that Israil is the best in the 154 division right now, and that's why he's going straight after him. He says that he wants to leave a legacy that has never been left before.
I consider Israil the best 154-pounder in the division right now. So why not go for the top guy in the division right off the bat? I want to leave a legacy that's never been left before. You know, inside and outside the ring. Business minded. Just helping the young fighters coming up. You know, giving them the courage and the outlet that the fighters before me never gave to us, you know, and at the same time, be at the top on my game as well. I always tell everybody I never go in the ring looking for the knockout, but if I smell blood and it's there, be out of there.
Chris Algieri believes that Crawford moving up to the 154 division makes sense. He thinks that Crawford might be able to become undisputed at 154 too. He stated, "It makes a lot of sense for Terence Crawford to move up to 154 lbs to challenge the WBA champion Israil Madrimov. In the wake of Tim Tszyu Sebastian Fundora, it seems natural for Crawford to fight for a title in a fourth weight class, and to put him on course to unify all 4 titles in a third." Chris believes that even though Madrimov is talented and has crazy power, he lacks experience when compared to Bud Crawford. He also says that Crawford's relationship with Turki Al Sheikh will be very lucrative for him. Though talented, Madrimov doesn't have Crawford's profile or experience. So many, myself included, will expect Crawford to win. Turki Al Sheikh's ability to broker these types of fights will also have delivered to Crawford the money his status deserves. When asked about Terence Crawford facing Israil Madrimov, Sean Porter advised Israil to stick to his roots and not try anything new. Porter believes that Israil is a great pressure fighter, but it only takes one mistake for Crawford to get in and finish the fight.
The fighter, he brings the mental and the physical pressure. Do what you do and do it as great as you can do it. Don't try to divert from that and do anything else. That's what Crawford does, man. He gets you off your game, causes you to do some other things.
Porter was also asked for his views on how the fight with Madrimov might go while standing right next to Crawford himself. He talked with Crawford and told him, "I watched some Madrimov. I think that Terence, it always takes you a couple of rounds to see what these guys bring to you. I expect to see Madrimov in your face. I think this is going to be a fun fight. You're going to have your hands full, but I think you will handle it. You always handle it. Some people are born to do what they do, and this kid is born to do what he do." Roy Jones Jr. believes that Crawford's move to 154 is best for him. He picks Bud to win the fight and claims that he might become undisputed for a third time.
I heard they're gonna announce Crawford this Wednesday to fight Madrimov.
Who?
Madrimov, the WBA junior middleweight champion.
Right.
154 pounds. What do you think about that fight?
I think Bud wins the fight. Bud
Saudi?
I think it's a good fight for Bud. I love the fact that he's going to 54. He keeps going up the ladder. He's doing a great thing, you know? There it is!
Possible that he might get the WBO also involved. It might take it from Dora.
That'd be good if he does.
Eddie Hearn thinks that Madrimov is the best 154-pounder out there and believes that he'll be a tough challenge for Terence Crawford to overcome. He stated, "The pound-for-pound #1, but I will say this, Madrimov is the best 154-pounder in the world. I really believe that. Terence comes straight out the gate. He wanted all the champions. Every fighter gets old. Every fighter steps one weight class too many. Can it be? Madrimov has tremendous footwork. He's elusive. His defense is good. He punches really, really hard. But we understand, we're up against the P4P #1. Hearn is also super confident for Israil and told not to bet against him. He believes that Israil is young and well in his prime, which will benefit him on the fight night. My man here is going to derail the plans. Honestly, don't bet against Israil Madrimov. This is a very tough fight. I think this is going to be the toughest fight for Terence Crawford's career so far because he is a young world champion, a strong world champion, and a prime world champion." Eddie also says that he has a bad feeling for Terence Crawford going up against Israil Madrimov. He says that Crawford is eyeing for other fights which might derail his focus from the main opponent he has on August 3rd. Eddie thinks that if Madrimov catches Crawford on the chin, it will be lights out for Crawford.
I've got bad feelings for Terence Crawford against Israil Madrimov.
Really?
Because like whenever you're talking, all I hear is Crawford Canelo, Crawford boots, Crawford this. Like he is fighting the biggest puncher he's ever faced on August 3rd, right? You know, people have been sending me stuff about where he got buzzed by Mean Machine and, you know, all this kind of, like, I'm telling you now, if Crawford gets hit on the chin by Israil Madrimov, he is going to really, really know about it. So we'll see what happens, but I've got a real sneaky feeling for my guy on August 3rd. I really have. I think it's a really tough fight.
There is much speculation about Terence moving up to 168 and finally facing Canelo Alvarez. Terence has been asking for this fight for a long time now, but now Turki Al Sheikh says that Crawford won't have to wait much longer for this fight to happen. "I won't let Crawford sit around another year." The chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority revealed that he is looking at making the super fight in either December or January over in the United States. He stated, "I'm working to deliver Canelo, but it will be a big fight for Crawford. I'll discuss the names with him." Crawford was present during the Canelo Munguia fight. After the event, he was asked what he thought about the fight. Crawford shared his insights, but when asked if this match can lead to him facing Canelo, he simply said, "Most definitely."
It's Kevin with Fight Hype, Bo. What you thought about that fight?
It was a good fight. McGill showed his heart, determination. He just wasn't stepping in. Canelo kind of looked like he carried him, though.
What do you think about that fight in terms of you fighting Canelo? Did you see opportunities for yourself?
Most definitely.
What kind?
A lot. You had to see the fight, but Canelo did good. McGill did good. It was a good fight.
All right, Terence, man, you're the best. Yo, appreciate you, bud.
You record me too?
Bud further added to his potential bout with Canelo clarifying that his main focus right now is to defeat Madrimov. You got two fighters that have been at the top for 10 years. You got the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and you got the #1 money man. I never like to overlook anybody. I got a fight coming up AUG 3, and that's where my main focus is at. Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez had some heated moments during the buildup of the Canelo-Munguia fight. The two of them share some bad history together, and that might be the reason why Oscar picks Crawford when asked who he thinks would win the potential fight.
Give Crawford all the credit in the world for even thinking about possibly fighting Canelo, but if that fight ever takes place, I have Crawford 1,000%. And people are going to say, oh, well, you're contradicting yourself. I kind of am, but Crawford is also a big guy. Yeah. Crawford is a big guy who can handle a Canelo because they're the same size. Crawford is a guy who punches hard, but he doesn't rely on his power. He relies on his footwork. He relies on his speed, on his change-ups. He relies on his combinations. He relies on his mind. And I believe that Crawford is a way better boxer than Canelo.
Claressa Shields believes that Terence Crawford is the only boxer who can defeat Canelo Alvarez right now.
David a different type of animal. But it's a fight I would love to see. And seeing this fight, I still think the only man that can beat Canelo is Terence Crawford. That's just what I think, and I want to see it.
Bernard Hopkins voiced his concerns for Terence Crawford, questioning his decision. He emphasized Crawford's well-being and benefit, asking what good the fight with Canelo could bring.
Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford, and Crawford beats Canelo? What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic, it makes sense, and less life risk.
Bernard further added, I have serious reservations about Crawford's decision to pursue this fight with Canelo. It's a risky move, and I question the wisdom behind it. As someone who's been in the ring and understands the physical toll it takes, I worry about Crawford's well-being in a matchup against someone like Canelo. What benefit does this fight hold for Crawford? There are plenty of other viable matchups available that don't carry the same level of risk. Eddie Hearn believes that Crawford will have a big size disadvantage against Canelo if the fight ever happens. He stated, there's no denying Crawford's skill and ability, but he'll be facing a considerable size disadvantage against Canelo. Facing someone like Alvarez is a whole different ballgame. Eddie thinks that Canelo is fighting at the bigger weights for a long time now, which won't be good for Crawford as he'll make the big weight for the first time. Alvarez has shown a preference for fighting at higher weights, and even if Crawford were to move up, he'd still be at a size disadvantage. Amir Khan has fought both the fighters and thinks the difference between the two fighters is that Canelo is easier to hit, whereas when it comes to Crawford, things get difficult.
Josh Johnson got to commit himself to that right hand. That left hook is so long, isn't it, from Ngannou? Heavy.
Right hand. He's
But he also believes that Crawford should avoid a fight with Canelo, as there isn't much to gain from it. He stated, I don't think Crawford should take that fight because he doesn't need it. There are other fights out there he could take and make big money from. You can always get hurt. When you're fighting a big puncher like that, you can get hurt, and I don't think it's worth it. Chris Algieri also put Jaron Boots Ennis into the list of the opponents that Terence could potentially face in the future. He believes Terence Crawford versus Jaron Ennis could be a passing of the torch between two generations. He stated, Ennis is already Crawford's toughest potential opponent. How many times, historically, have we seen the new kid on the block fight the old lion? The fight surrounding the potential passing of the torch. We've seen less of that nature of matchup in recent years, like Julio Cesar Chavez de la Hoya. The changing landscape we're seeing gives cause for optimism that the time will come when we'll see Crawford-Ennis, when it had increasingly looked so unlikely. It may even transpire that Hearn promised to do all he can to deliver Crawford when Matchroom were negotiating with Ennis. And indeed, Eddie's main goal for Jaron Ennis is to face Crawford. Hearn's long-term goal for Ennis, who hasn't fought since a KO of Roy Manvilla last July 7th, is a showdown with Crawford. At 154 pounds, Crawford will want a lot of money to fight Boots. But Andre Rozier thinks the 3-weight world champion would be too good for Ennis. He stated, "I got Terence Crawford at 154 now. Boots is the only one I can see, but I'm with TC all the way. I'm with Terence Crawford all the way." So what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that Crawford's move to 154 is best for him, or will it be too much for him? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.